Hello, good morning, student. How are you? I hope you are fine. Welcome to online class. Today we are going to study about new practical. The aim of this experiment is to construct decade counter using IC7490 and to verify truth table of decade counter using IC7490. List of equipment required for this experiment is DC regulated power supply 0 to 30 volt 1 ampere, digital multimeter, breadboard, single strand hookup wire, wire cutter and stripper, etc. List of electronic component with specification. The component required for this experiment is IC7490. The number of IC is 7490. The specification of IC is decade counter deep dwell in line package 14 pin IC. 74 IC7490 is 14 pin IC and the quantity required is 1. The another IC required for this experiment is IC555. This IC is timer IC. The specification of this IC is timer deep dwell in line package for 8 pin IC. This IC is 8 pin IC. Quantity required is 1. The another component which required is a resistor R1. The value of resistor is 22 kilo ohm, quarter watt carbon composition fixed resistor. Quantity required is 1. Another component required for this experiment is switch. This switch is micro switch. Quantity required is 1 switch. The another resistor required is R3. The value of R3 is 330 ohms, quarter watt carbon composition fixed resistor. Quantity required is 5 numbers. The another component which required for this experiment is pot, means potentiometer R2. The value of R2 is 22 kilo ohms. Linear potentiometer, quantity required is 1. Another component required for this experiment is capacitor C1 and C2. The value of C1 is 47 microfarad 25 volt. Electrolytic capacitor, quantity required is 1. The capacitor C2, the value of C2 is 0.01 microfarad and this capacitor is ceramic capacitor. Quantity required is 1. Another components which required for this experiment is LED, light emitting diode, 5 different colors, 5 mm IMAX 36 milliampere and quantity required is 5. Theory regarding this experiment is IC7490. IC7490 is a decade counter which consists of 4 JK master slave flip-flop. It counts the input pulses in BCD 8421 code. IC555 timer IC. This IC is used as a stable multivibrator. IC555 provides pulses to counter IC7490. Working of this experiment is when plus 5 volt DC supply is given to the circuit, IC555 act as a stable multivibrator. Therefore, voltage pulses at definite rate and produce at the output terminal, means pin number 3. The pulses are applied at input terminal, pin number 14 of the counter, pin number 14 of the counter, to which are indicated by the single LED, means light emitting diode, The rate of pulse generator can be controlled by potentiometer, means R2. The value of R2 is 22 kilo ohm linear potentiometer. The counter provides output at pin number 11, pin number 8, pin number 9 and pin number 12. DCBA. The IC7490 act as a decade counter because pin number 12 is connected to pin number 1. Output will be DCBA, that is equal to 0000. If input 2 and 3 are at high level, means 1, output will be DCBA is equal to 1001. If pin number 6 and pin number 7 are at high, means 1 level, the 7 segment display can be observed by connecting output of IC7490 or IC7447 BCD to 7 segment decoder and FND 507 common anode display. The pin configuration of IC7490 decade counter is shown above diagram. The another IC555 timer IC, the pin configuration of IC555 is also shown in the above figure. The circuit diagram for decade counter using IC7490 is also shown in the above figure. Procedure for this experiment is: first, check all the pin of IC7490 and IC7447 and IC555. Check given resistor and LED by digital multimeter. Connect all electronic components as per circuit diagram given on breadboard by using connecting wires or hookup wires. Apply plus 5 volt DC voltage to above circuit by using DC power supply. Give trigger pulses to pin number 14 of IC7490 by using IC555 with the help of micro switch. Count clock pulses at the output of IC7490. On condition of LED represent output H or off condition represent output L. Observe condition of LED at each clock pulse of IC7490, that is output, and verify the truth table. Note condition of LED each time for respective clock number in the observation table. Observation table is shown below. Conclusion of this experiment is: after verifying truth table, it is concluded that IC7490 can be used as a decade counter. There is some assignment for you. Please note it down in your copy and show me later on. These questions are very important examination point of view, so please note it down. The first question is: what is decade counter? Which IC is used as a decade counter? Why IC555 is used in a circuit of decade counter? What is the use of IC7447? How do you recognize output from LED condition? What is counter? Okay, thank you student. Meet you in next period. Thanks.